Like I was telling Sean, you know, we gotta do.
They paid for the first one.
Yeah.
I think what color squatters they have? Blue? A light blue. I think I just saw. She just pulled in.
Ooh,
Diana.
We need some more people here.
Looks like a little sports
I know.
car. just
That's
pulled
right,
in.
yeah.
I know.
Oh, I forgot what I was just gonna say, something.
You just said it.
Something?
Yeah.
Judie Keleman is running a little late, so I'm going to kind of talk about the Northeast Video Festival and answer questions people might have about that. So, when I come over here, Gee, come on and sit down. All right, first of all, let me welcome you all to our annual, monthly, I should say monthly social, not annual, it's monthly. These are for the members. There's a good chance for people to find out what's going on. It's information sharing. Also, it's a chance to update people on things that are going on in terms of festivals, answering questions that people might have about what's happening down here at SATV. And probably the most important thing, it's a chance for people to share ideas. We've had screenings, and Judy is here. She made it.
Wrapping for a sec?
What's that?
Did you get my message?
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I was like going to start talking so you can, you know, you may do that.
Thanks.
This is Judie Keleman. She's going to come by. She's representing not only the Alliance for Community Media, but she's also one of the coordinators for this fall's second annual Northeast Region Video Festival. And that's what we're talking about tonight. If you haven't seen it, there is this poster. This is the second video festival. And if you'll notice that last year we had, let's see, how many people did we have enter? I think we had 4 people enter. 3? I'm not sure. Last year. It wasn't as many as we did for the national. And this year, it's going to be, last year was held in New York. This year it's going to be held in Manchester, New Hampshire. The Northeast region is made up of the 6 New England states plus New York. That's considered the Northeast region. So, it's, what I would do is encourage you to enter if you have programs that you have in mind. What's good about this festival is your odds of winning are higher because it's a smaller number of people. It's smaller than the national. Would encourage you to enter. There are, let me kind of go over the categories, and Judy will be going over this again, but I just want to tell you the categories are arts, children's programming, comedy, the community bulletin board is a category, programs that have a community impact, cultural, ethnic, international programming, documentary programming, dramatic programming, which is a program that's been scripted. We have educational, instructional training video category, innovative videos. Now, the thing is, we're a judging site this year, so we're judging innovative programming. Last year, Woody Farrick got a special Judges Merit Award. Now, I was wondering, I knew we had a winner last year. It was Woody Farrick. So just want to let you know that. Also, further categories are live event, magazine format, municipal, which is government programming, news category, performing arts, promo or public service announcements. Those would be short videos promoting like 30, 60-second PSAs. Religious and inspirational programming, senior citizen programming, which is produced or a series about seniors, by or about seniors. Special interest programming. This would be programming created for a specific group of the community, a segment of the community. Sports events, sports programming, a talk show, and youth-oriented programming. So, while there's not as many categories as the national, there certainly is a diverse group of places to enter. So I would, again, encourage people to enter. The format is very similar, and Judy will be talking about that. The other thing I did want to talk about is to let you know that the deadline originally was July 1st. It's been extended to July 16th. Just double check this. Yep. Has been extended, July 16th. And which gives you about 3 weeks from now to put together something. One of the things that Bob Mio wanted me to let you know is last year...
I didn't want you to let that. Come on in, Judy.
Yeah, come on in. By the way, let me introduce Judie Keleman. Yes?
Oh, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, sit right there, because I'm just going to finish up, because I'm actually teaching a class. Bob, I'm going to let you know that this year we will be collecting the videos and we will be paying the entry fee, because as an organization, we are members of the Alliance, so we get a little less in terms of cost. And to encourage people to enter the contest or the festival, we're going to help pay those costs. So it's another incentive to enter, and we'll encourage. I know Diane has an idea, I know Leo will probably enter. I'm sure Dave.
Yeah, I just finished the video just a few minutes ago.
Great. So
That
this is great.
deadline, the 16th.
Yes.
We need it by the 16th.
Right. In other words, we're going to mail it. Our deadline is, I think we picked that Wednesday. And we're going to mail them that Wednesday, so they get it Friday. It's going to New Hampshire, so.
But I've been known to meet people at the strangest times and the strangest places with boxes of tape, so.
Oh my
call me.
gosh.
Right.
I know
We'll get 'em
in Manchester is where it's going to.
Yes, but I live here, I live in Watertown.
Right.
So, you know, if there's.
So
if
last
you
year, I think
delay
I
the
hand-delivered them
yeah,
right to our
you can
house.
hand deliver them to me, and I just need them, like Saturday morning, I'm
Yeah,
leaving.
yeah.
To go up there for the weekend and we dig through all of them.
But it's going to be important, because of I know how things happen in terms of paperwork, everybody getting everything together, we are going to set our deadline, so I have everything from you guys on that Wednesday so that I can put everything together, maybe double check it to make sure its paperwork is in order. There is things in terms of making copies of certain things, so you need to have 3 copies of the original, plus the original, I should say, 3 copies plus the original, because it's 3 judges, plus the person that oversees the judging. So all this is important. That's why it's good for me to help oversee it before we send it out. You know, you're putting a lot of work into it. We don't want to go there without your all the paperwork in order. Okay, and also, finally, I just want to say one thing, Judy. We are a judging site, and I'll be looking for judges. We'll most likely be judging in August. And our category is still innovative programming. Great. I was hoping they could change. Which is a great category, because we did this for the Nationals, I think 2 years ago, or a year ago. And it's a great category because it's very diverse productions that you can see. So it'd be a good chance to, if you're looking for a way to see what's out there, what other people are doing, I encourage you to become a judge. I'll need at least 3 judges. I'm assuming, right now we don't know how many videos we're going to get. You're going to, Alfine, you probably don't know.
I would say well, we've done it 1 year. Last year, the innovative was somewhere between 10 and 15
Okay.
tapes. So it's not, you know.
Not too much. And my
Doable
feeling is
in a day.
usually, and they're shorter videos most of the time. So while I'm not taking names today, if you are interested, please let me know, and I am going to start compiling that, and you'll see a flyer up probably the next week seeking judges. Leo has been a judge before. Diane has been a judge for the Nationals, and I appreciate that. And
That was fun.
It was fun, yeah. Leo, what do you think about it?
We had a blast.
Great.
I'm still trying to figure one out.
And it wasn't innovative either.
And, I think we did PSAs and art videos, computer art.
Computer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are 2 good categories.
Just to give you like further information about the judging, for those of you who might be interested in doing it, it's just a wonderful opportunity to put yourself in the shoes of another producer and be able to kind of take an inside-out look of your own production capabilities, because when you're a judge like Leo was, and I've been a judge many years, so is Ron and Judy, you're able to really see not only what other producers are doing, but then you're able to really compare that with other programs that are out there. And I know when I was first doing public access television, it provided me with a really good perspective on what I was really doing, because in the 80s I was really busting my butt to produce these programs. I had no measurement, and suddenly I did, and I said, gee, I'm doing a pretty good job. So I think it's an opportunity, if you do decide to become a judge, to kind of take a step back and kind of say, hey, you know, how am I doing as a producer? So I just wanted to throw that in. You get a lot out of the process.
You really do, and besides looking at videos and having a good time being entertained, and performing a public service, it really is, you are helping out not only other access producers, but it helps the Alliance. These festivals, a lot of work goes into them, and finding these judging sites, I don't know, I'm sure it's not an easy thing to do, but it's these access centers that donate their time to put these judging sites together that really make it all work. So I do appreciate those people who are interested in doing it. All right, that's enough for me talking. This time I'd like to introduce Judie Keleman, who has been in the region, the Nationals for a couple of years now. Weren't you on the national board?
No, just the regional.
Just the regional? Okay. Well, you're doing something on the international thing, though.
Yeah, but that's part of the
Separate.
region.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And it's nice to see you girls in the room. Hello. That's two of my project members right there from the International Committee. Has everybody met your
Well, actually, that's a good
Irish
point.
interns?
Let's. I got to the meeting late, but let's introduce everybody around the table. We usually do that. Why don't we start with Jean? Introduce yourself, Jean.
Gene Morency.
Hi,
I've been
Gene.
coming down here now for about 3 years, I guess.
Yeah.
I've learned quite a bit.
Great.
Jean helps out with crew, a lot of shows. It's great work.
Olivia Carr.
Who is one of our interns?
Leo Jordan, I produce Salem Now, a community issue show here in Salem. Carpenter and an activist in one of the wards here, Crime Watch, and almost ran for counselor in my ward. There's more, but
Yeah, there is more.
There's a lot.
And you just asked for his name.
Yeah, so you were got you.
And over here we
Bob
have
Mio, everybody knows me, I think, executive director.
I'm Terry Birkin. I'm sort of like a guest, but I like SATV. I like to keep, see what's going on, and it's interesting to me.
You've been a supporter for a long
I've
time.
been supported too for life. I used to be a member too with my late husband, so I'm sort of not an old time. I'm an old timer here too.
she kind of helped out with Salem Now too, once in a while.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was here from the very beginning. You went to the very first party we had.
teaching the class.
Yeah, in June '94, you were
That's
the
a long
first
time
one
ago.
here.
I
signing
know.
membership, so.
So you've been supported for a while now.
Oh
That's great.
yeah.
Diane DeFace, and I do a little of everything. I work on Salem Now. I work with Dave.
I'm Dave Moisen. Right now I'm ready to fall asleep.
Oh my
I
God,
just
Dave.
put a program to bed that's been, we've been in work in one form or another for about 13 months. It's finally finished. I work with and for people with disabilities, and I'm the CG expert at this place.
That's true.
And
And-
this year was elected too.
Oh,
And I'm on the board, so I'm a responsible person.
VIP now.
That's right. And behind the camera over there is our other intern from Ireland. You want to say hi?
Hi, Lily.
All right.
Hello. So what did you say about this? I was in the other room.
I was just talking about how I went over some of the categories,
Okay.
went over deadlines, how the deadline was extended,
Okay.
and that we were judging the site.
Okay. So I'll just give a little bit of the history of this project and throw in some information about the Alliance. I just didn't know how much Alliance stuff you had said. Okay. The Alliance for Community Media is an organization made up of people just like you and me. It's not some big corporation that's out to make money or take your money or do things for you. It's all about making a forum, holding conferences and meetings in places like here or other centers or sometimes hotels when there's 750 of us trying to get together once a year, all across the country. I have no idea how many access centers there are across the country, but every town in Massachusetts, and that's about 330 something, is wired for cable. So potentially there could be that many in Massachusetts alone, so multiply that out. Now when you get to the big Midwest states, where there's not a lot of towns and cities, they often have a regional center. Some of them don't have centers, and as all of you probably are aware, public access centers come into being because the people want it. and it's there. You can have it. All you have to do is ask. So even in New Hampshire, our neighboring state to the north, a lot of people there are just beginning to build access centers, okay? There's a little coalition of people who get together once a month. They have their own little board of directors, and they try to help each other because a lot of times their little tiny towns and cities don't have any money. So a lot of people are doing and running. They're staff people, but they're volunteers. There's like no money for them. I think that's absolutely amazing. I mean, that's incredible dedication to me. And a little town called Andover, New Hampshire, where one of our regional board members lives, I saw her center a few years ago, and it was in the basement of the library in like the really old section with a lot of other people's junk, you know, thrown into this corner that nobody wanted anymore. And they were given a room about half the size of this room. They were given equipment, nice new equipment. All they knew how to do barely was the CG, and I think it was Scala. So at the time we went up there for a meeting, some of us, we spent the time mostly showing them how to use Scala, because nobody from the cable company had given them instruction. So there are people still like totally wanting this, but totally like, you know, going crazy because they're not getting the support even from their cable companies. So that's not a statement either here nor there. But one of the things the Alliance tries to do, and anybody can be a member of it, anybody can run for the board of directors of each region. There's 9 regions in the country. That's just how we divide it all up. Is we try to help each other in as many ways as we can. And one of the ways the Northeast region tries to get people networking with each other, let's say, is that we'll try to hold our meetings at different sites. And a couple of years ago, let's see, the Alliance has been around for about 20 years. Just started out with a group of people who wanted to get together and share things once a year. Then it divided up into regions. Many people joined. Now it's managed out of Washington. And our region in New England includes the 6 New England states and New York State, okay? And traditionally, I don't know when this started, but let's just say 10 years ago, you know, Bob's been involved in the Alliance for a lot of years. When I joined 7 years ago, there were 2 conferences held in this region, somewhere in the region. It could be Maine, it could be Connecticut, it could be Massachusetts, twice a year. And they each had 25 workshops, and there was a party and a luncheon, and video vendors would come and show the new cameras and decks, and it was a great thing. And a few years ago, we had a big member meeting at the National Convention, which is also held once a year. And a lot of our members said, you know, we love going to the National, we love going to all your things, but a lot of our producers can't afford to go to everything, and it's really hard to pick. And we said, well, yeah, we're thinking about doing something different. So what we do now in the Northeast is that in the spring, and it was April, I think, in Amherst, we had our big conference, 25 or 30 workshops, a 2.5-day event, you know, dinners and lunches and all kinds of speakers, and probably about 120 to 150 people from the region came and networked and met each other in these workshops. What we do in the fall now, this is the second year, is instead of holding a 2.5-day event, which, as you can imagine, is a lot of work to put together, but it's not because of that, it's because the members in the Northeast said, let's do something different, is we hold a video festival instead. Okay. And last year we had 230 entries, and I was amazed. Now that some people may not sound like a lot, but I was overwhelmed. Let me tell you, my office was stacked to the ceiling with stuff. It was really wonderful to see people enter their tapes. And a little brief story. I started producing videos in like 1983. And the first project I worked on was a documentary, and it was with a group of women, and it was done at a women's peace camp in upstate New York, and the whole theme was protesting the storage of nuclear weapons in upstate New York, okay? And the peace camp was based on Greenham Common in England, which you guys may be too young to remember, but that was a very early nuclear protest site. Anyway, the documentary was made because someone from PBS who was doing a series for PBS on nuclear disarmament, heard about us, called us, we didn't know they were doing it, and said, could you guys put something together? We'll include it in our series, and it'll play on Channel 2. This is our big, PBS station here, quite an honor. And so in 3 months, we cut this documentary. Now, we had shot it on stuff that was big, it was borrowed, it was, all kinds of things rigged together. Something would break, somebody would figure out how to fix it. I mean, the quality of the video was not great, guys. It was not digital. It was big old decks hanging on your shoulder and 3/4 inch tape, and the whole thing was, it was still incredible. We didn't really care, but we weren't thinking in terms of producing a documentary. Anyway, long story short, we did the documentary. We raced it up to where it was supposed to go the night it was supposed to be there.
Like broadcast news.
Well, yeah, like broadcast news. They beamed everything up to a satellite, and then somebody else received it and put the package together. I mean, I didn't understand that at all. And I was working as a volunteer in Arlington at that time, early 80s. I saw a sign on the wall to enter a contest. I said, what the heck? Called the women in my group. I said, why don't I submit this? It came out pretty good, don't you think? And we're like, yeah, I guess, And we won first prize. National contest sponsored by JVC, which is a big equipment company. And they had a category for community videos, if you can imagine. Most of their stuff was for people who do sales tapes and business tapes, what they call corporate work, okay? But they had a community videos category. I'm like, what the heck? It was free? What the heck? Enter your tape. We won first prize. We won a camera and a video deck. I mean, it was amazing. We were put up in New York. We were, it was very fancy. So anyway, this can happen. And I know that some of the people who entered last year, it was their first tape, and they won first prize. Now, we've got 23 categories, as Ron mentioned. If you know your tape is ready to go and it doesn't seem to fit in a category, just talk to me after this, because I'm getting calls now because people don't quite know, do I put it in talk show, do I put it here? We can talk about that. We try to be as specific as possible with the categories. We had the 230 entries last year. We had the most in documentary and community impact, which I thought was kind of cool, like 25 and 27 entries. So those were the biggest entries. I am assuming and hoping, of course, there'll be more entries this year. I think it is really, really nice that SATV is offering to pay your entry fees. We keep them as low as possible, but this event costs a lot of money. So your money is subsidizing the cost of the hotel, the cost of renting the video equipment to show the screening. And in fact, I have the screening of one of the reels from last year, which I'll show when I'm finished talking.
Wow.
Just to show you what we managed to do. I was very serious about making this a really kind of spiffy, splashy event for people, because I had done the same thing and I knew what it was going to mean to people to win. It's absolutely thrilling, okay? And you were there.
Yes, and we had a winner.
And you had a winner from here, of course. And it's like just to go up on a stage and accept an award in front of your peers, knowing that your peers have judged it. I mean, it's a really nice feeling, and it really, just makes you feel like what you're doing is good and worthwhile, whatever the subject matter, okay? So we looked for a site, and a woman in Great Neck, New York, which is on Long Island, actually volunteered her site and volunteered her time and her staff's time to put it all together. And last year, they were willing. She had a wonderful board of directors. She had a wonderful staff, and not much else going on. And that they weren't going through negotiations or doing a big project at the center. And they managed to put together 6 workshops during the day, specifically geared for people in New York and Long Island. In other words, their issues. Not that anybody couldn't attend, but that was the idea with our fall conference, is that if the hosting site wants to do workshops on a local level to attract their local people, then we will have workshops. This year, the group in New Hampshire who decided to host us in Londonderry initially, then backed out because this New Hampshire coalition I spoke about, amongst themselves when they met, decided that they just didn't have the people power, okay? They're all small organizations. They don't have staffs of 3 or 6 or 10. I was looking at Cambridge's roster now. They've got about 10 on their staff. So unfortunately, I feel bad saying this, but unfortunately we're not having workshops this year. But what we're having is a dinner and a show. Okay, dinner and a show. And it's an event that will start at 6 o'clock at night. It will go until 11 o'clock at night. And if you've looked at the brochures, we're advertising this and trying to lure you to New Hampshire for the weekend, because It's going to be gorgeous. It's in October. The leaves will be changing. You can rent bikes. You can go canoeing. You can go hiking. I mean, take the weekend off. That's the thing. You will know by the second week of September if you're a winner or not. So there's still plenty of time. Actually, we're going to call you right away because the hotel is going to be holding rooms for people at a certain rate. We just made that deal this weekend up until September 16th. So you will hear from us before then. Then we will say, you got to decide soon if you're going to come or you're going to send somebody to get your prize, and you got to call and book your room. We're also going to provide you with a list of B&Bs and other hotels in the area. So you can certainly shop around. Most people know how to shop on the internet now for hotels or if you have friends up there. It's Manchester, New Hampshire though. From here, guys, you don't have to stay over if you don't want to. I'm going to stay over just to spend a weekend up there. So that's the deal. The dinner is going to, it'll be all one price. And anybody who wins one of the prizes, and I'll go into those in a second, will get a discount on that. But we cannot afford to give food away for free. Hotel food is not cheap, unfortunately, but it will be a discounted price. So there is a cost involved, unfortunately, to come. For the 23 categories, we will be giving out first, second, and third prizes, however. So you've got 3 chances in each category. And one of the things I've gotten calls about already is people have said, well, can I enter the same tape in 2 categories? Yeah. Because if it seems to fit in 2 categories, but great, and you're also upping your chances of the competition of meeting,
in fact, last year, I think there was a video that won 2 different categories. I think.
That's right. Yes, I remember that, yeah.
Is it $25 for each category?
Yes. Each time you enter, there's not a discount if you enter like 2 or 3. That's something we can think about down the road, but only a couple people did it last year, so we kind of have to figure this out as we go. But yeah, it is. And if you're going to enter, if you're going to be paying from SATV, then it is the lower rate, obviously.
Right.
It's not
But I think we've discussed that if you're going to enter more than one tape, you'd have to pay for the second, third, and fourth one. We'd pay for the first one.
You pay 25, they pay 25, and that's pretty fair, and you'll box them all up, and so you're not even worried about postage.
When we mail them. So.
Generally, the tapes are not mailed back to you because there just isn't that much money to turn it around and ship everybody's tapes back. However, if you do want your tapes back, there is something that says on the form, just include a self-addressed stamped envelope, and a couple people did that last year. Don't send your masters.
I was just going to say that because you found out last year someone did send it.
Oh, please. We cannot guarantee the post office won't lose it. I cannot guarantee that at some judging site, heaven forbid, somebody spills a Coke on it. I mean, don't send your master ever, any place. Make a good VHS copy. The reason we're asking for VHS is because everybody's got VHS. But not every judging site is necessarily going to have an S deck. Not everyone is going to have a high 8 deck. Very few have digital, and very few have 3/4 anymore. So go to Ron if you happen to master on 3/4 and you need to get it to VHS and you don't know how to do it. Talk to these guys and they'll help you do it. Okay. So let's see. Questions. I'm sort of rambling around. Did anybody enter last year? You say you've got something that you'd like to enter. Have you looked at this yet?
Not yet. I entered a video of mine in the Nationals, and it was something reading between the lines of the form I got back. I had a feeling it was something like good video, but something like number 3 or 4 out of the 1 or 2 to win. So not luck there. I got one video to enter. It's a video last year. A center I'm involved with, the Independent Living Center of the North Shore and Cape Ann. They had a celebration of the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and it was decided early on I was going to do a documentary, and what I entered into Cincinnati was the promo, the 5-minute closed caption promo to promote ADA Day. This I just finished tonight. This is the actual 30-minute compilation of the actual event.
Well, if you can't figure out what category to go in, just work with Bob and Ron. They'll help you figure it out. If you guys can figure it out, call me. What I want to make sure, though, is that when anybody, this is true with any contest, and there's many around, actually, make sure that you read the entry rules very, very carefully, because as Ron said, there's part of it in here that says, please send us the entry form plus 3 copies. And if you're going to have support materials, now what are support materials? That's like if you had an article in the newspaper about your show. If you had somebody write you a thank you letter saying, thank you for doing this video, it really, made a difference, whatever. Okay? Anything like that that you want to attach to the back of the entry form, I guarantee you those judges will read it. They might not read everything in detail, but they'll skim it, and it will make a difference to them because they know that this was important to you. They're still going to judge the video on its own merit, but those things are interesting. Don't send, a stack of stuff this high. Pick out, if you've got 10 support letters for whatever you did, pick out a couple that you think exemplify what it is. It's not the amount of stuff, it's the quality of the stuff that makes a difference. But read the rules over carefully, and again, I think if there's something that doesn't make sense, ask Ron to spell it out for you. I want to back up just a second because a lot of the design that you're seeing, especially on this page right here, is thanks to Mr. Ron Cox, because last year he was our volunteer designer and designed our original poster, which I should have brought as the original.
Hanging up in my room.
And this year,
I've seen that.
Yeah, with the New York
this
scene.
is the poster this year. We actually tried to save a little money on our end and went black and white, whereas last year we had it in color. But we wanted the theme to be fall, and so we've got the leaves and then pictures of things to do in Vermont. So it's actually not as pretty as Ron's, because he drew it all by hand, and we had Long Island, and we had New York, and it was gorgeous. So if you haven't seen it, check with him. So that's the main thing. And then also to make sure that you fill out the entry form, just take each line as it comes and check off everything you can. But as Ron said, he's going to look at everybody's and go over it. Because one thing, for instance, last year I would see people would not check off whether they were an individual member or organizational member. You may not know. Ask him, they'll check it off for you. It's for our database so we can do some statistical stuff afterwards. But the thing that does make a difference is if Ron enters a tape, or Bob enters a tape, they're professionals. They get paid for what they do in this center. You're a non-professional. Doesn't mean you're not as good, it just means you're not getting paid. What we're going to do is if we have in, say, the category community impact, which is a big one, and say I have 10 tapes that are done by non-professionals and 10 that are done by professionals, I'm going to ask the judges to judge those separately. If I have one that's a professional and all the rest are non-professionals, I'm going to ask the judges to judge those all together, okay? Because it wouldn't be fair to just judge one separately. So try to fill this out as best you can. Very important to read the statement, have your signature and date on there. One of the things down here it says is that the Alliance retains the right to keep your winning tape. This is if you win. It's the first place winners actually, for 2 years. And what we've done then is we've made an effort to get centers like SATV to not buy, but it's actually just a mailing cost. Send us a tape. We'll put some of these tapes on for you, and then they can go back to the centers and get aired. So we're trying to get into distributing your work as well, just to the centers that are members of the Alliance. We're not just saying anybody can do it. So, because I know that's something a lot of people are concerned about. Like, I did all this work. Now, how do I get my tape played in Boston? How do I get my tape played in California? So we're trying to do that end of it too and help that along.
So something that one in the Northeast could get aired out west?
Basically, it's in the region right now. But that's something down the road that we could advertise it on the national magazine.
The other benefits that happen when you enter a contest and you're a winner, you can always enter your show now in other places and say award-winning video.
It's very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Helps in your distribution, helps in looks great in your resume, and that's what builds your confidence, I think, too.
If you ever want to do this professionally, make money or get funding for doing an independent video on your own, you want to appeal to agencies who fund the disabled community in some way. They might fund a video down the road. If you've won an award for a video on the disabled community, that gives you a little more clout. It's as simple as that. And that's true in any category, because there's money available down the pike for anybody if you want to go that route and fund your work. Quit your job, quit your day job, and be a real videographer.
Big issue is
which we all like to do.
Big issue is not so much shooting the video, but getting the money to get it captioned.
Yeah,
that's a big.
There you go.
The first video I captioned, the captioner, the caption house up in Maine, the owner took pity on me and said, I'll give it to you at a discount, and
Yep.
you know, X, my usual rate is X, and it was a considerably steep discount, and I was able to pay to have this little 5-minute video caption
Yeah.
on my own pocket, but
It's
we
still
want to
money,
have
yeah.
all our other videos captioned.
Yeah.
Right now, I have to tell people I got no money to do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's something you might think about is fun, you know, finding the funding for that. But anyway, did anybody else have any other general questions? Okay, I hope everybody has a tape to enter, or at least some of you do, or even if you don't have a personal tape, you were crew on a tape.
Well, I know Diane and Leo.
If that producer wins, you can feel good about helping them with their tape. This is, we'll just show, you know, a couple minutes of this, but what I did, I used to work up in Lowell. They opened like, what, 4 or 5 years ago now? It seems like yesterday. And a good friend of mine was our technician for a while, and he loved to make videos on computers. He's one of these people that built his own computers to do computer editing before, you know, anybody had this stuff practically. And Jack is also an artist, and he's very, very creative, and I'd seen his work. He used to volunteer his time at the station, beyond his staff work, to do intros for people's shows. I mean, he would do some beautiful things, flying graphics and flying doors and, you know, flying books and what have you. But, you know, it really was, it made sense and it was really nice. So I prevailed upon my friend Jack. I said, look, I got a couple of $100 in my budget, not much more. Would you be able to put our screening reels together? Now these are, I think, 30-second clips of the winning entries. And what we did and what we're going to do this year is we're going to maybe have 3 of them, I don't know. But we ended up with 2. And this one is a little longer than this one. We'll just show you a couple minutes of it. And Jack created music. He has a little synthesizer in his computer room, and he writes his own music. So no copyright problems here, thank you. He created the opening titles, and then I sat with him and I told him which clip I wanted. So as the producer, that was my job. He threw it in the computer. We got them all in the computer. I went home, and then it was his job to splice them all together. He had a script. But what he did, unbeknownst to me, he was going to have the same segue graphics between each one. And I liked what he created. I said, go with it, Jack, I like that. He started creating a different segue graphic based on the category. So when I went up to see the final reel just before it was done, what did you do, Jack? And he said, oh, I just started having some fun here. So way beyond $200. That's still all he wanted. Was to, you know, he didn't ask me for money because I was like, Jack, I can't pay you anymore. He said, no, don't worry about it. I just had some fun with it. So this was really, really nice. So we're going to be looking for someone this year to actually make the screening reel. So if you know of anybody who does computer editing, who is an artist, and who would like to do this, and again, I've only got a couple $100 to do it, but it's a lot of fun, and it doesn't have to be fancy schmancy, but anyway, so that's the story of the screening reels. We showed them in New York on a great big screen, on a great big stage with really good equipment, and it was impressive. And this was my idea, is that people have put years of work into this. We wanted to look really good. There's probably, I'm not sure if there's a countdown, so you might just fast forward it. I didn't cue it.
How recent does the work have to be?
Oh, back it up. And there's sound. There you go. Play it from here. We should get the sound up. The past year, it has to be
Within a year.
produced from last July. Well, it doesn't have, it could have been shot earlier, but
Aired or produced?
let me look it up. This is Jack's creation and Jack's music. I imagine this on a huge screen.
Oh,
So I think this was,
wow.
and a really good sound system, and that's what we'll have this year. That stuff costs money. It's worth it.
That's 3D.
I know, we'll get the nerve center to do it. What you guys do it.
So this is a big auditorium where all these people just are watching.
This is to honor you guys. So this tape has the category awards. First place. It's his idea to have that move on. And then alphabetically, there's the arts. This was his original graphic concept,
Captures these images.
which I liked. I thought that's what he was going to continue to do. This is about graffiti. This one in the arts category. Get a little idea of what one. It's kind of nice. So that's 30-second clip, and they showed children's clip.
Oh, I love this song. I heard a dog outside my door, and he was making some noise. I heard a dog outside my door, and he was making some noise. What does the dog say? The dog was barking. That looks like a German Shepherd right there.
We're back live. Hi, everybody. Pat Summerall here for Fox Sports. The Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys are currently in overtime. We will be joining our regularly scheduled programs, Murder, She Wrote, and 60 Minutes in its entirety immediately following the telecast. I hope it comes quick because I really got to take a leak. More later.
Sweet back to the movie now. Yeah, turn it on.
These are just little clips. I mean, sometimes you have to see the whole thing.
The work in our book, Our Stolen Future, shows that children, and particularly babies before birth, are especially vulnerable. These chemicals that act as hormone disruptors can disrupt chemical messages that guide development and cause alterations that will have health effects that last a lifetime. Now, this may be obvious birth defects, or it could be subtle effects like learning disabilities.
Schools across the state that we have investigated, where we found pesticide use is as regular as monthly cleaning.
I'm so happy we can celebrate all our different holidays together.
This is from Newton.
And everything is ready to begin. We have candles, potato racket, and Santa Claus will be here soon with lots of presents.
Before we begin our celebration, let's practice our sign words. Lights, corn, and reindeer.
Now, this is a
What a
children's
great
show,
job.
but she entered a different one in children's, and this one in ethnic. It's a documentary.
My name is Jim Franchino, and I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm physically disabled. And my disability is kind of unique. It's got a pretty big name. It's congenital quadrifocamelia. I don't know how to spell it, so don't ask. It basically means I have no limbs, upper, no arms, and I have pretty much no lower. I have a small foot and a small leg, which I do a lot of stuff with.
Please, come in. Can you change a 20?
Sure thing.
All I have are 20s.
That seems like something you'd do, Ron.
I know. I met the guys, they were young kids who put that together.
Yeah.
All young kids.
Yeah.
Really?
They were like,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
early
thinking I'm
20s.
going that way.
It's all written by themselves and original music and shot out in the countryside someplace. Yeah, it was a good,
Yeah.
The Pizza Man. Good piece. So, anyway, that just gives you some idea of who some of the winners were, and it's a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I mean, some very creative stuff in some of those, and others are straightforward documentary type things. So, you know, that's, hopefully everything should, you know, fit in one of the categories and can be judged. So, what else would you like me to say? Anything? Can't think of anything else at the moment.
I mean, the main thing is that now's
your
the
friends?
time to start thinking about it, right, and talk to people that you might know, other members who I have started.
Definitely, yeah.
And to
Shows
spread the word. I mean, that's the thing, is now to start thinking about your entry and what it is you want to enter. Because you want to spend this time now putting it together so it's not done the day before.
Let me just say something actually reminds me about the series show, because I had a phone call about that already. If you produce a series, or you know somebody producing a series and you think they should enter, they have a choice. They can enter just one show from this series, like say somebody does a show every month on healthcare or something. They can enter just one show and still check off series. Or they can take the opportunity to put excerpts together from that series, like the best clip from the February show and the best clip from, you know, last December's show or whatever. You can do that if you don't have the time, even though that's what we'd like you to do, because then the judges can see all the, you know, your best work more than just one show. You can certainly enter just one show if it's a time factor.
30 minutes is the
30 minutes is the maximum of anything we would like to be entered. That's based on the fact that the judges are going to only be asked to watch 30 minutes. However, if you have a 60-minute show and you want to submit that, you've again got two choices. If you leave it queued to the beginning, they'll watch the first 30 minutes, which will include your intro and your how do you do's and then whatever else happens in the show. And they'll stop it at 30 minutes. They're not going to jump around and look at different pieces to see the whole thing, so they'll miss the last half. But if you have a section, like I know people that like covered a concert, a symphony concert last year, and they wanted the judges to watch a section that started 10 minutes in from the beginning. So they queued it up, they put a note on the top, and they said, please watch from here. Please watch 30 minutes from here.
But you have to submit the whole tape.
Yes.
And then you ask them.
You don't. I mean, that's your other option, is if you want to take the 30-second chunk and put it on another tape, that's fine. You just may or may not lose quality that way. So it's totally up to you.
Oh, yeah, when you go down to general.
Exactly. So it's up to you, and again, it's your time. So you can enter the tape as it stands, again, not your master. You can cue it up to the point that you want the judges to start watching.
Yeah.
They'll see from your entry form what they're going to be watching.
But if you're doing it right off the master anyway, it's going to be the same.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So maybe, because we have a couple of long tapes.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'm trying to think of other questions people have called in so far, but those are sort of the main ones.
Yeah, I think that those have always been the toughest questions in terms of if people have a series, is it better to, you know, to do examples from each one. The other thing I want to add to what Judy says, the other part to putting together clips from your shows is they have to be unedited. In other words, what we've done actually in the past with Leo is the total length, it needs to be 30 minutes. So what you would do is you could have a segment have your best opening, maybe 2 minutes. Then maybe a section that's 10 minutes from another show. That 10 minutes has to be right from the show, unedited. In other words,
can't change it.
Can't re-edit it. That's and then do a little bridge in between each one so that you've kind of maybe dated the show number 55, the date, and then up comes that segment. Then fade to black. Second segment, or another segment, show number 12.
For the date of the show, yeah.
And those are helpful for judges. Again, speaking from the judge's point of view, that kind of thing, again, they're going to be looking at it to see, okay, now here's another part. And then there's an advantage to spending the time to show clips from, especially if you have a series, well, it's 4 series, to show that. So it's something to think about, especially if you have, say, more than 10 programs to a series, you know, the question is going to be, geez, of all these 10 shows, what parts do I show? You know, obviously, a half-hour time, you got to cut some of that out. You don't want to obviously show 10 all 10 shows, just too much, but.
The easiest
Cut out all
thing
that
might be to say, pick the 3 that you think are your best shows and pick 10 minutes of each, and there's your 30 minutes. Or, 9 minutes of each. And, it's nice to do, as he said, a bridge or a graphic in between, but again, if you don't have the time to get on the graphic machine and do that, because that's more editing, just leave a little bit of black, like 10 seconds or something, and pass in a sheet of paper with your entry form that says, here's what my tape has on it. It has black, and then the first segment is 8 minutes long, and it's from my show done last year. A little bit of black, and then so you can hand us a piece of paper. Again, it's for the judges' sake, so they know they're going to be looking at 3 clips, because they'll watch your tape, but what if they start making notes at the same time and they miss where things change? If they know ahead of time, or you have a bridge in the tape, then they know they're seeing segments. It's not a huge deal, but again, presentation makes a little bit.
It does.
Makes a little bit.
That plus having support material helps your overall project, I think.
I can almost enter the fireman tape.
Oh, that would be nice.
Which one?
The fireman tape. I got quite a few good shots in there.
Cool.
That was about an hour.
Well, like I say, we're putting together, our deadline here is the 13th of July to kind of collect everything, and then if I need to have you do certain things, it gives us a little time to kind of...
13th of July?
Just to have it all here, so I can make sure you have everything done, and then before I bring it to...
Just funny you say that, because that's the next show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you were saying something about Wednesday, I'm trying to...
Yeah, that's that Wednesday, isn't it?
No, that would be the Tuesday.
Oh, what's that Wednesday? Maybe it's the 14th.
14th.
Right, 14th. Now, this is different than the regional, the national, because we don't have, I remember when everybody was panicking this last time to grab something from last year. So it doesn't matter whether it's this year or...
Well, as a matter of fact, it's a year from a little bit of 98, a little bit of 98 to 99. In other words, it's fall of 98.
I'm looking.
I think it's the fall of 98 to the fall, until July of this year. Or maybe it's July to July.
July 98 to July 99.
Okay, so it's a year, but it takes into account 98 to 99.
Okay, so it must have been produced between July 98 and July 99.
Finished production. Well, could you have started it?
You don't want to put in something that isn't finished, so yes.
No, I mean, I finished in that time period because...
Produced means finished, yeah.
Like if you started it in May and you finished it in October of 98.
As long as it was finished within July to July, yeah, we'll accept that.
And usually that's when it's cablecast too.
Yeah,
but we don't even ask when was the cablecast.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't remember. It's like, I don't know, sometime last year. Especially if it's a series, it's hard. Yeah. Because I know Hometown goes into a lot more detail. We started out by obviously looking at Hometown's paperwork and sheets and entry rules, and we said, well, it's a good starting point, but we really want to make this a lot simpler. I remember entering tapes in Hometown and other contests, and it's like, takes you a week just to, it's like reading your tax forms. It's like, excuse me, too much to read, and it gets confusing.
I'll just move into the editing room again, Ron.
There's still things you got to pay attention to, but that's where good folks like Ron are helping. How many entries did you have last year? Do you remember?
I think 4. We had 9 in the Nationals this year. I was very happy with that.
Great.
9.
Yeah.
And we had 2 special judges awards for the Nationals. So I'm very excited. We have a very active group here. I think in terms of looking at access centers, certainly within this region, we're pretty good in terms of having numbers of entries. So I'm proud of that.
You get, if you win first prize in a category with us, you get a lovely plaque. It's real wood, and it's about 8 by 10, and it has a piece of plating on top of it that's sort of screwed on. And last year we did a sapphire blue color and gold lettering.
That was very nice.
That sounds pretty cool.
We'll probably change the color this year. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. The people who won 2nd and 3rd place got framed certificates, okay, on very nice blue parchment paper, whatever I got. And that was just done in a computer, but, you know, nice frames.
Well, we have Woody's is out there.
Okay, good. And then people who won, we have a special prize called Best of Show. And if you got the most points overall, and again, the judging forms may change this year based on input, but I'm guessing there were 6 questions that the judges had to answer, or let's say 9, and the highest score in each was 10. So 90 would be your highest score. And we did have 2 tapes, I remember, that received 90. They got all 10s. Okay? So we gave out 2 Best of Show awards, and those were lucite trophies that kind of stand up on your desk. And I think they were diamond shaped. They had
almost like Oscars.
They were very nice.
It's like a little sculpture.
They were really pretty. And then the lettering was etched onto that. I mean, it was beautiful. And then we have a very interesting category where all the judging sites, we have coordinators at each site, and then there were 3 judges. Sometimes the coordinator is also a judge, but at least 3 judges. And they're all instructed, once they've looked at all their tapes and they've done their scoring sheet, to talk amongst themselves. And if they feel that there was a tape, like even if one person on the judging panel feels there was a tape that was really good for whatever reason, like the production qualities were good, or it was just so innovative, or it was just like so moving emotionally, but something didn't give it really high scores, okay? They can then fill out a separate piece of paper and say, we recommend this tape for a judge's special merit award. Now, we had 11 tapes that were submitted back to the home site last year. Then we had another judging panel look at all those 11 tapes, and out of them 2 were picked, and those people also got lucite trophies. Because we felt that, you know, you're not doing this for money. No one's leaning over you saying you got to make that better and you got to do. You're doing well. You're doing but seriously, in public access, you're doing the best you can. And there are some people who are going to be fantastic, you know, technically, and some people are going to be fantastic on the content end.
The creative.
In the whole world, there's very few people like the Spielbergs, that can do both. They can do beautiful photography and tell a beautiful story and move the majority of people. I mean, that's a gift. So no one expects anybody in any of these, access centers or independent producers to, be producing Oscar-winning material. But I still have to say I've seen some incredible stuff. The gentleman that won a special merit award from here, was it last year, Woody?
Yes.
Woody's opening to his show moved me so much. The way he set people up in individual chairs. And first you didn't know why they were there in the studio, and then each of them started telling their own personal story, and I just went, wow. And that to me was really, really incredible, the way he thought to do that. And to him that might have just been like, well, we do this every time, and this is just how we open the show. I didn't know that. It doesn't matter. It really was powerful. It was very true. It was very real, and it was very unusual in that sense. So that I think because of that, also because of the content and because of the stories people told, it just really obviously moved the judges, and it did end up getting one of those awards. So it's a good example right there. So there were those other awards that you won't know until you get a phone call. You could win second place in the children's category, but you might also get a judge's special merit award. Because above and beyond your numbers, they felt it stood out for whatever reason, and they're asked to write down why. And then all those tapes go back to another judging panel.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say on the technical end is sometimes your source tape will have a little kink in it.
Right.
And it's not really even the person's fault technically.
Right.
They'll, be like, if, there's dirt on it or something, or the manufacturer of the tape even.
Exactly. These things can happen. Yeah. So the judges we do send out forms and say specifically things like that. Please try to be open-minded. Please try to be fair. Do not be overly critical. You're judging your peers' work. And so it's not that if the tape is all going like this, but if there's an occasional, like an edit flips or there's a little dirt on the tape.
And that's why I made all my errors.
No, and like you said, there's some things that, unfortunately, video, it's the nature of videotape, video equipment and decks, everything, it's not a foolproof medium in and of itself. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, that's something that's fine. So your content and how you put something together is really what the judges are looking at. So. They do answer technical questions. I mean, they do score technically, they score aesthetically, and then they also score in terms of its impact and in terms of its overall kind of effect and
There's
stuff.
that gut reaction part too.
Yeah. Forget the questions we had.
But I think, that's where I think, Judy said it again, where Woody maybe had low technical marks, but because of his content, because of the way he did it, he got higher marks, and also obviously the special judges awards.
And I think people viewing aren't even going to notice the technical because it's so
not in that case,
impacted by what the content was.
In whatever his category was, which was maybe special interest, I'm not sure.
It was special interest, because they didn't only have a gay category, which he was glad
about. Well, that's what special interest
exactly. But it wasn't.
Combines.
But he was. I remember him saying this, that in fact, we got the award, he was very happy to know that for the first time, his show was up against other shows that weren't gay issue-oriented programming.
Yeah.
He felt really good about that, because he didn't want to be pigeonholed saying, well, I'm just best of the gay shows. He liked the idea that he was best of special interests. And it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, that's interesting. I met him. He's a really very nice guy. Yeah. So
we've all had a lot of us have had the opportunity to do camera for him. I help him out. Yeah. And I enjoy doing it. Yeah. The only thing is I don't get to see it until it is, because you have two choices. One, you can either try to do good camera and not see what's going on, or you can see what's going on the show.
That's true.
I normally have to wait until it is to see it. Yeah. But sometimes you catch a little. Like I saw one that he did. It's still my favorite. Is he had the grandparents and the parents of a son that died from AIDS, and I mean that was fantastic. I mean the grandparents and the parents, realizing, showing people that he was a person, and not just a piece of meat.
No, I think that's what impressed obviously the judging panel, is that he was dealing with people and he wasn't sensationalizing anything. He wasn't trying to provoke. He was just letting people talk about that. And somehow, because when I said to him, how did you make everybody feel so safe? I said, that's a real gift. It's not every producer or interviewer can do that. Not that they are all motivated by other reasons, but that's a very special thing.
Not like my show, where they don't feel so safe.
In fact.
They don't sit in chairs, they sit in skillets.
Okay.
I think more than half of us in this room have worked with Woody at one time or another.
Yeah, that's great.
We could all tell Woody. We could all tell stories. I have a few myself. We could tell stories all night if we have time.
The award is then all part yours. I would say, too,
that's good to know. Too.
Because no producer can make a show by themselves. Hello,
Some of us try.
Some of us try. I know. But
that's a point we make for our show. As I say, we call it the family because it's Salem Now, Salem Now. It's not Leo Jordan's show. It's the people of Salem show, and we all get together and we have a tough time, but we get through it. Get through the pizza and the cake and the soft drinks. But it's serious and everybody cares, and we kind of nurture Salem Now.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's working towards that.
Right.
It's such a great experience when you kind of take that out of context. And
especially when you volunteer, they all have families, and children, and they all working and trying.
Leo had a Christmas show. It was great fun. He had all the kids, and one of the camera people played Santa, Bob Shea.
Yeah.
And that was really lovely.
Yeah, only two things come out after that. One was the parents of the kids. We had about 30 kids here, and they left here believing in Santa Claus, but the parents ended up having to pull the charge cards out because of the fact that I asked all the kids to write Santa what they want for Christmas, and he read it over the year. And the parents were all for it until they realized after the show that this costs money.
What about the $1 million? Someone wanted $1 million?
Yeah, one kid wanted $1 million. Another kid, but they're the ones that made the show. And one kid says, Santa, if I leave you 150 cookies, will you leave me 150 presents? And everybody got a big kick out of that, because
Right.
this was real.
Yes.
I was panicking because I thought we were gonna have 10 kids.
Yeah.
And I thought they were gonna get out of hand. Whenever I got
Yeah,
back
they were
here to do
great.
the show, and I heard we had 30,
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have a con-nary. And needless to say, they made the show. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all
Isn't that
had
great?
hats. Leo got hats for each one, Santa hats.
Was this last year?
This year.
This past
So nice.
Christmas.
Yeah, Leo is a new producer.
So I was gonna
just
say,
so you
think
know,
about entering that if the tape
his
is-
show is celebrating its
Go.
year anniversary.
All right.
Oh
next
yeah, we're
month.
doing the Heritage Days. We're taking it live to Old Town Hall
Oh,
outside.
excellent. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're all saying right now.
I know.
It's,
Just think it all through.
yeah.
You do
Now,
it.
is there any such a thing, I don't know, it might sound innovative, but like offshoots or, because sometimes I go around, I do background work and they use it on the PSAs and things like that, like after the show ended, when everyone went up to Santa, a couple adults sat in his lap, and I got things like that on tape. Is there any way to,
Oh, outtakes is what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'll put it in next year. I think that's a good category. Because some people have
outtakes?
extra
and
footage. And if you
extra
put
footage
some
and
clips
you could-
together,
You could put together
make a little-
outtakes from all
you can
the
make a little
shows or.
you know what I do with them though? I put them together and then, you have a
For the
little
crew.
private screening for the crew and
For
the
the crew,
people
yeah.
involved in it and stuff. And
Before
We've
you
been
do
working
it. Before you, oh, you don't know some of the outtakes.
Well, it's-
Some of them.
right.
It's gotta
But it is fun.
Gotta be
Cuss words
private.
on there, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We're all talking about doing the bloopers.
The bloopers,
A
yeah.
blooper show is
A blooper
great.
category.
And you know
That
what?
would
You
be
know what
called
some people
bloopers.
do. In fact, I saw a movie on TV last night, made for TV movie or something. But at the end, they rolled the credits,
And then
they
showed
had
that,
the
yeah.
outtakes
Yeah.
running next to the credits at the same
seen
time,
that. It's
and it
great.
was
I love that when they do
funny.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Home
So you should save them because you
Yeah,
can use them on a
save all
later
my
show.
tapes. And,
Yeah.
but if you did like something on outtakes that were, you'd have to get permission from people, but outtakes that you could actually air.
Right.
You could have,
have a category.
a blooper show that aired on SATV.
Yeah.
You could enter that into
Yeah.
Innovative this
Exactly.
year.
Exactly.
There you go.
We
Definitely.
have some doozies.
Oh. Oh, boy, I don't know, about 2 weeks. I had to do the clean sweep, and then,
'Cause I also do a second show, which when you just said, rather than getting rid of the old tape, we do a show called On the Road with Salem Now, which is all the taping that we do out there for the information. Our roll-ins are the heart of the show.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if the hole is 2,000 feet deep, and that's where the problem is, I'll go down into that hole and show the people what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But rather than taking the tape and just filing it, we turned it into another show, showing everybody the whole entire interview with whatever city official that we're dealing with.
You know what's interesting is that a lot of times now when you see on Discovery and A&E and even CNN, if you see a documentary, they often will put at the bottom of the screen now, click on our website to see the whole interview.
I've seen that.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay,
CNBC does
so
all the time.
already people are doing that and they put it, I mean, whether you're doing video, internet stuff yet or not is the
I'm working
point. It's
on
the
that.
point that
Oh, God.
showing that people would be interested in hearing the whole interview. I
Right.
can't remember what show I saw like 6 months ago, and the interviews are always just
That's how
sound
we have
bites.
it. Well, that's how we have
And I
it set
thought,
up.
great, I'm gonna go see the whole interview
Right,
on
we
the
have it
internet.
right now. I'm doing the City of Salem Bill Inspector, and that's here at the studio. Then I have the interview with him going around the city, looking at all the rundown properties and digging the hole deeper. And
rundown firehouses.
and right, and the rundown firehouses that are a mess. But the people can watch Salem Now and then
see
and then get more
Yeah, I think that's
on
great.
a different day.
Sure.
And it's really not a lot of extra work.
No.
It's,
No,
I don't know, maybe I'm going senile, but
It's already shot.
No, I don't think.
It's already
I don't think
shot.
you are, because what I'm saying is that people on the channels like it's Discovery.
I never saw that, but
I've
that's
seen that.
That's good
I've
to
seen
hear
that. They'll put a little bar across and say, and PBS does it too. The PBS probably started it, so to speak, but
But it's good
you
to
want to see
hear
more of
because-
this interview, click here.
Right.
I've seen
Well,
that.
that's what we tell the people on the first show is to, if you want to see the interview in its entirety.
It's going to run.
Right.
whatever,
And
Sunday
it runs
night or
every
something.
single Thursday and Friday
Yeah.
night. And,
That's great. I think that's terrific.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you watch Salem Now Wednesday, say the building inspector, Thursday morning you can see on the road Salem Now. So, and it's the
That's
way
a
that
compliment.
Jennifer scheduled it here, it's perfect.
That's great.
And then they give it a rest for the weekend.
Yeah.
The timing is great.
That's neat. So how many would you say active producers or shows do you
We
guys
have,
have happening?
I guess, 40 active
That's great.
groups of
Yeah.
people that are either producing, social producing, or crewing
Yeah.
with the shows. that you
With the
see.
shows, yeah.
Right. In terms of membership, I think it's about 200 members. But you know, like any organization, you out of that 200, there's those 40.
There's like usually a quarter of it
These
is
are
like your core
representative.
group, but it,
Yes.
you know, and it shifts over time.
Exactly.
Well, this Heritage Days thing we're also doing to fill in for our on the road Salem Now. She does a wonderful job. She's our document.
How about the photography and candy shop?
Right. We're going to show. We have tape of the city council approving us taking that site. We're having the street shut down. The building department, the electrical, city electrician. I mean, everything I had to go
Every little
through to
piece,
pull this
yeah.
off. And we're going to show how the show was put together.
That's so cool, yeah.
And with our theme song is Willie Nelson's On the Road Again.
So think about that for next year.
Yeah.
I like that. I
And
love
then
stuff like that.
the truck backing into
Yeah.
SATV, loading the
Right.
truck, on the road again to Old Town Hall,
Yeah.
unloading, setting up, and probably clips of showing just Old Town Hall. Then all of a sudden the set appears, part of the set, and all of a sudden, and then the end of the show will be the actual opening of the show itself.
Yeah.
And then, and so, but it's
That's
also to try to push and.
And as the power goes, you still have that how it all came together.
Yeah, and this is what could happen. No, I mean, I even went as far as having my electrician to set up a special box for that. But we want to show at the same time, that's how our opening is how interesting and how great SATV is. You know, we also want to encourage people to come down here. So showing a whole bunch of people having a great time coming out of this facility, because this is also in conjunction with Salem Access Television.
Right, yeah.
That banner is going to be part of the set.
Because you guys, does the station cover Heritage Days?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
part of one of the things you do. When is it?
Yeah.
Like July?
It's August.
August.
It's middle of August.
8th
Middle of
to
August.
8th to 15th, and we do the big parade. That's-
So you guys will still be here? You're here till like the 20th, somebody. That's great. Cool.
Good.
We got them working on the parade.
You know what might be nice is that we have two of the Irish students working in Lowell. And so our whole group has been invited up to the Lowell Folk Festival for Saturday, and the two that are there
That's a
will be
great festival.
crewing on that, and they
That's
have
great.
3 stages and whatnot.
Right.
But it's probably similar to Heritage Days, and so I'm thinking it might be nice to invite your group here for
Right.
Heritage
Right.
Days, you know, because I don't know if you've seen a lot of
Well,
Salem.
we were
Salem is
already
like,
talking.
it's such a really wonderful place.
We
Yeah.
also, Dave and I, Dave just hasn't had the time, we want to put on the board, we're going to be looking for people to help out. I have some people outside of the organization that are going to be helping, as carpenters and the like. But we'd like to encourage some of the members from SATV, especially new members, to help us Heritage Days. And that will also, I mean, it's going to be a fun time. Everybody has
Yeah.
one thing to do, and that's it. Nobody's to do, you know, if you're in charge of filling this cup, that's it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You're not supposed to be emptying that bag.
No, big events are great like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask one other question,
Yes.
Ron, like, in terms of daily programming, do you guys go 24 hours? Are you
No,
on, or
well,
just
we have, the
when
bulletin
it's
board
okay?
is on.
Yeah.
In other words, we have 3 stations, which is, not every access station has
You
all
have
3
3 channels,
stations. We have
wow.
all big access stations. One of the things we've done involved in is we decided to have one of the stations, which is 16, just be the bulletin board.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the community bulletin board, the CBB, where all the messages get on the reel. Then Channel 3, which is our community television, which is all the station shows that you see of the public access shows. And then when that's not being shown, where there's no programming, we'll see the schedule of
Yeah.
just Channel 3.
What's coming up for Channel 3?
Channel 15 is the educational programming. There's where we have city government, school committee, plus issue-oriented shows, which is kind of unusual. Usually,
Yeah.
some stations put those on Channel 3. We kind of have evolved into putting Leo's show on 15 because it's really issues-oriented
Right.
show. There's another one called Foresight, Inside Salem. Those shows they're very issue-oriented, dealing with controversial issues. We put on 15.
One category we did add this year, you just reminded me, is community bulletin board.
Yes, we saw that. Yeah.
Okay, because literally somebody last year said, how come you didn't have a community bulletin board category? Well, I didn't think of that as programming, you know? I mean, I didn't make up the categories, but it was an oversight, and there are people that do wonderful things with their community bulletin board.
Yeah.
So it's outlined as to how to put it together, and so I encourage you guys
Kind of a
to
voice of
make
experience.
a tape. If you can get a tape off, can you get a tape on that?
Yeah,
Okay. Hook it all up, get a
I've
tape
done,
off of that, and submit it.
I teach people.
Yeah.
I teach people. I teach our interns, 2 interns. When I get back from Cincinnati, 2 interns. I'm going to teach them all about CG because I've done. When you look at Channel 3 or 15 or 16, interns do the individual pages, but I've done the over. I used to do the individual pages, but like I said, that's why I'm tired all the time. I just have the overall. I just take charge of the overall design. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of our work.
That's great. Well, I encourage you to think about. I'm going to leave a few
I was
more of
going
these
to say,
with
because
you.
we out of the ones that we have, we've done 2, so it's helpful.
Encourage lots of.
All right, good. Well, Judy, I want to thank you for
She
coming.
wasn't leaving with all of them anyway.
Well, I was hoping that we needed some more.
No, that was left
Thanks
over
for
from the
coming,
mailing
Judy.
list.
And if anybody does
Very
have
welcome.
questions, if I can't answer it, I will call Judy up and answer for, get some help from Judy. But I do thank
forward
you
to
for
getting
coming.
the
This is very
tapes. Sure.
helpful. And it gets
Nice to be here.
the positive thinking going, start entering. So. And have some cupcakes.
I started my own category, losing.
What's that?
I started my own category, losing.